After having put off watching Naruto for ages, when I finally decided to give it a shot, it only took a handful of episodes to realize, oh, this anime is different. Why? 3 words: Zabuza and Haku. I'm going to get into what about them made Naruto different, and also one other thing that caught me off guard too. Typically, anime, especially of the older kind, do a lot of setup in the early episodes. In that regard, Naruto is no different. However, they did do something I hadn't seen before. They created compelling villains right away, even though they didn't really play a role in the plot going forward. Before 20 episodes had passed, we had a fully fleshed out relationship between Zabuza and Haku, and we actually cared about them and their dynamic. Compare that to a one-dimensional character like Raditz, or whatever generic demon Yusuke beat up until we got to Toguro, or the goofsters that pop up early on in One Piece. It simply doesn't compare. The first thing about Zabuza that stood out is he's cool as hell. He looks cool. He has a cool nickname. He's a mercenary. Even his name, Zabuza Momochi, which I probably butchered, may be in reference to a legendary ninja of history. And when he shows up and busts out a water prison that traps Kakashi that only gets broken because Naruto and Sasuke intervene, while simultaneously using a water clone to attempt to assassinate his target, you realize, oh, this dude is a legit threat. And the cool thing is, even when he's defeated by Kakashi and saved by Haku, we actually see his recovery. He doesn't pop back up randomly, we see him take a week to regain his strength and come up with a new plan. Which leads to the other thing that made me realize this was going to be different real quick. That plan? It's smart. He tailors his plan around neutralizing Kakashi's Sharingan and shrouds the area in mist. That fight in general is full of strategy, from that to Kakashi allowing himself to be hit so he could track the blood, allowing him to find Zabuza. And then when Haku intervenes again and takes what would have been the finishing blow, Zabuza uses Haku's body brilliantly to attack through it and nearly takes Kakashi out that way. It wasn't enough, which goes to show how OP the Sharingan is, but the level of strategy the fight had, especially so early in the series, was really impressive and not something you typically see. Unlike other villains, Zabuza's morality shines through too. When the hit on his target is pulled, he has no intention of continuing his pursuit or his fight with Team 7. When Naruto hits him with some Talk no Jutsu, we see he actually cared deeply for Haku, so much so that he goes after the man who hired them and cuts him down as his final action. As he succumbs to his injuries, he asks to be by Haku again, so they can join the afterlife together. It's shockingly beautiful, especially for an older anime this early in. You just don't see that kind of thing. Villain redemption isn't new to anime, but the way this was handled, at the level it was, wasn't normal. He was only relevant for 10-ish episodes at the very beginning of a show that spans hundreds of them, and I still remember his name with ease. I don't even remember half the names of the Hidden Leaf Shinobi without having to look them up. There's a reason the dude routinely wins popularity polls or gets underrated villain posts nearly 2 decades after he showed up for a blip in the history of Naruto. And it's not only Zabuza, Haku is memorable too. From his first appearance where he appears to kill Zabuza, but only as a ruse to save him, to protecting him while in recovery, to his talk with Naruto about purpose and those they care about, he's extremely fleshed out. And with the way their bromance played out, you'd have thought this was going to be a long-term ally. Instead, Haku died protecting Zabuza, and his death is the catalyst for getting Zabuza's redemption. When they're buried next to each other, you feel like you lost 2 heroes, when in reality, they were the main antagonists for the majority of the show at this point. And to this day, it still holds weight. So yeah, that's when I realized Naruto was different. What do you think?